Hello all, 'tis I, Redacted. And I actually got this done on time for once. Woo! That is a small achievement, but I will take it. So first and foremost, the elephant in the room, and it's a very wonderful elephant, if I do say so myself. On May 24th, I officially hit 100,000 subscribers. Suffice it to say, I am very thankful and still very it's all just still really surreal. You know, excuse me. It didn't come as a surprise, only in the sense that for quite a while now, the channel has been having pretty steady growth. So in one sense, you know, I could see the number getting closer and closer. It didn't suddenly explode with a viral hit or something. It was a steady growth that just on the 24th happened to cross that magic line in the sand. But that's almost what makes it even more surreal, I guess, is that there hasn't been some huge, you know, like one defining moment that tipped the scales. It's just been a steady stream of content that I've produced that's had a steady accrual of subscribers. I mean, there's been some surges and some plateaus, but in general, it's just been steady. And somehow it still doesn't really feel real because it's just been this thing that's happening almost in the background. Like, you know, it feels like not that long ago it was, you know, 100 and then 1,000 and then 10,000. But then at the same time, it also feels very far away. Like that was a long time ago, but then in other times it doesn't. And I don't know. It's not until I really like take a step back and look at that number for what it represents, like the actual size of that, the way it would actually look to have well, I mean, you can't even say a room, a stadium or whatever, filled with 100,000 people, with me just standing in the middle of it with a microphone and saying something, and then you know, the whole stadium just goes like, yes, we liked that, do it again. I don't even really know what I'm saying. I don't really know what I'm trying to convey here, other than this is crazy, and it feels really crazy. I already talked about it in my community post, but when I step back and look at how much my life has changed over the last 2 years of this channel, it's I mean, it's staggering. I like when I was a kid, I dreamed of being an author. I mean, among other things. I mean, at one point I actually wanted to I wanted to design ocean liners, and then I found out that you weren't allowed to just make a carbon copy of the Titanic, and so that kind of killed that dream. I was obsessed with the story of the Titanic when I was a kid. I had a morbid fascination with it that had nothing to do with the film. I still have never seen it, and quite frankly, I don't want to. But yeah, I had a bizarre obsession with it. But anyway, yeah, then I realized like that wasn't an option. So, but although then years later, they like a while back they announced that Titanic 2 or whatever, like they actually built like a Titanic like with modern technology. So I guess apparently you can actually do that. You just have to, not believe people when they tell you something's not going to happen. But anyway, that's beside the point. Writing. I've loved writing most of my life. I was lucky enough to have a family that really valued reading and education, and they fostered in me a real love of books and storytelling, and I wanted to be that. I wanted that to be my future. I remember when I found out that book, Aragon, was written by like a teen. I think he was a teenager. I never actually read the book, but it was such a huge success, and it was something that a lot of my friends kept talking about, and I just remember thinking to myself like, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna write a book in high school that is it's a huge success and just takes the world by storm, and one that so many people can connect to. I can make something that people will care about. I know I can. And spoiler alert, I couldn't. not at the time anyway. Yeah, I didn't half-ass anything in the dream department. I can say that for myself. And I did write. Yeah, I wrote all the time. About like a million different stories. I would come up with these huge, overarching storylines that would span, like 6 books, and then they would have a spin-off prequel series, and I would draw these detailed maps and character spec sheets, and I would draw all this art for it, and I would write all these emotional, pivotal scenes, and then just never finish any of it. Not even close. I wouldn't even finish the singular scenes I was imagining, much less a whole book. Back then, I literally never even got close to having a completed manuscript. Sorry. And my friends were so nice, nicer than they needed to be, humoring me while I would tell them these incredibly unnecessarily detailed like summaries of what I wanted these series to be, even though most of them I barely started. I was nowhere near finishing any of them. I was somehow writing all the time and yet getting nowhere close to finishing one of those fucking stories. And eventually real life came knocking, and I turned 16, and I needed to get a job, and school was getting busier, and there wasn't time for that stuff anymore. Because I didn't make time for it like I could have, but I let that all fall away. I was doing, a million things for school and working full-time jobs from, 16 till now. I still am. There was never really a break from that. Graduating college was kind of the break, because then it was like, oh cool, now I only have a full-time job. I'm not that and also a maxed out credit student. I would go a couple years without really writing anything. Maybe I'd outline a scene here or there or come up with a new plot line, but I wouldn't actually do anything with it. I just let all that go to the background. I just worked on that stuff for so long and put so much into it, and so little had come from it, and I just I didn't really believe that anything really meaningful would at that point. And it wasn't until years later, 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, that I finally got up the nerve to try it again, but to try it in a different way. I'd been watching, well, I guess listening to narrative ASMR stuff for a while at that point, and I really loved the world building and characterization aspects of that, and quarantine was just starting really in earnest at that point, and I was in a really weird place emotionally, I guess you could put it. I had finally stopped drinking after spending too many years getting into a really bad place with that. I was dealing with some health issues through no fault of their own. I felt really distant from my friends because I had reached a point where I never really hung out with anyone unless I was wasted, to be blunt. And to then finally stop drinking, it your brain can be it can be really fucking cruel. I felt like no one would want me around if I wasn't drunk, because when I was drunk, I was in my own head anyway. I was fun and open and funny and a good time. And when I was sober, I was awkward and anxious and just closed off. And when you're trying to purge your system of that dependence, and your brain just really wants it back, it'll tell you every horrible doubt you've ever had about yourself to try and get it back. And it's really fucking hard not to listen, especially when you have nothing to fill up your days. I had my job, but it was the start of the pandemic. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. It was just this echo chamber of horrible thoughts. And I needed something to turn that around and to take up my time. Something I could throw myself into. And that's how the channel came to be. I created the channel itself back in, I think, October of the year before, thinking that, maybe it was something I would try, but I totally chickened out and did literally nothing with the URL until July of 2020, when I decided to give it a shot. And I'm so glad I did. Because, like I said, this channel and this community and this support has changed my life in so many amazing ways. And I can't thank you all enough for that, because that's only possible because of people like you. So thank you. And that was a lot. Yeah, I haven't gone into some of that stuff before. Yeah, I've talked about it like a little bit more on the podcast and stuff, but that's a bit more of the full story of how the channel started. Yeah. I guess this is just going to be a long video. It is what it is. Because I still want to kind of talk through last month's videos as well, like I did last time, because that was a lot of fun, and I think that gave some cool behind the scenes stuff, so I want to do that again. So let's see, what was the first one out in May? Okay, so the first one was the 18 plus Aaron video, where he gets his promotion. Yay for Aaron. We're all really happy for him. Aaron is a lot of fun. He's one of the only characters where not just a script idea, but an entire character idea just kind of hit me out of nowhere with him. Touch the mic. I really hadn't planned to have a character like him, but then one day I was just sitting around at my old place, and this entire concept for him as a character and his first audio came to me all at once, and I just rushed over to the computer and wrote out his entire first script in like one rush, and then recorded it and edited it, and I really loved how it turned out. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to write. Without getting too in the weeds, I get to let out some of my corporate frustrations through his voice. So I appreciate Aaron for that very much. And then we had Jordi, who's become very popular on the channel, which is fun. His videos take a lot of work, but he's a really fun character. I was nervous to make this one, actually. It's always fun writing Jordi scripts because they're so stream of consciousness and honest and a little frantic, and that's fun. But it was I knew I wanted to have a comfort audio with him, with him being the one doing the comforting. And in the wake of the inversion, that seemed like a really pivotal moment that anyone in the magical world who heard about what happened would need some reassurance, just like any of us do when a tragedy happens. And what made me nervous to make it was that it wasn't going to be quite like a normal comfort audio of mine. Because usually when you're comforting someone, even if you don't always know what exactly to do or say, you can kind of keep that to yourself, for better or worse. A lot of times I think people will almost perform a comforting presence because they think that will help the other person, and oftentimes it does. I don't think that's a bad thing to, convey maybe a bit more peace of mind than you're actually feeling at that moment in the interest of helping someone else feel grounded. I don't think that's bad, but there are, of course, limits to that. I mean, you can take that to levels that actively harm your own emotional well-being by denying yourself the expression of your own feelings. But in Jordi's particular circumstance, that's not even an option. If his partner is in his head, he can't really keep his thoughts from them very well, and it's important to me to show his characterization in an honest way, even if it makes the video function worse as an actual comfort audio. I mean, that's part of why I named it "It Tries to Comfort You," because he's trying really hard. But I mean, as that listener, you're going to hear his self-doubt at his ability to help. You're going to hear him be hurt when they snap at him, even when he knows it's not personal. You're going to hear his brain trying to put the tragedy into terms he can understand, which might sound disrespectful, like comparing the ward around the stadium to a ward of dawn from Destiny. I mean, obviously what happened isn't a game, and he knows that. It's big and it's terrible and it's real, and he would never verbalize that comparison, but it's where his mind goes in that split second. And with telepathy, that filter isn't there. You hear every one of his course corrections. So I was wary of how people might feel about that audio, but ultimately I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I think it's a nice glimpse into that thing that we all kind of know but don't often acknowledge, which is that that the people doing the comforting are often just as scared or worried or concerned as we are. Yeah. Next was Ollie's sleep aid. That one was fun to make. A bit of a mirror to Aaron's sleep aid from a while back. and that's always kind of fun to explore a familiar video from the other side. Yeah, nothing too special there, but I really liked that one. It was like I had a good time making that one. And next up was the Elementals meeting back up. That one I was very scared to make. I didn't really realize until I actually made this is probably going to seem ridiculous to some of you, but I actually made a spreadsheet that that broke out how long it had been since each character had appeared. And once I did that, I finally had to like see that it had been this long since we heard from those guys. Because like Game Day and Inversion and Aftershock were so big, and they took so much work that it was easy to feel like it really hadn't been that long since we heard from them. But it had. I mean, it really had. It had been months. So I was nervous to explore where that much time had taken them. I knew I wanted there to be a conflict and an argument, but that it would ultimately just end up bringing them closer. And I think I did that successfully. It just became one of those things where you start putting it off, and it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger in your head. So I was nervous for that one until I actually did it. And it's kind of skipping ahead, but Gavin's was a similar situation. I knew that I wanted to have that time where the freelancer would finally let themselves feel everything they'd been feeling. Because even though everyone else in the story, all the elementals were telling them, you need to address this too. You need to prioritize your own well-being too. They've been established as a listener character that doesn't do that very well, which I think a lot of people can relate to. And I really do think that Gavin is a character that can understand that inclination very well. So there's a lot of understanding there between the two of them, even though they outwardly present those struggles really differently. Okay. So the Milo video, that one, excuse me, that one was tough. I knew from the start of Inversion that Milo was going to be at risk of losing his powers. I also knew he was going to get them back, but it was a question of how long it would take and how I wanted to portray that. I wasn't sure if that would be its own video or just referred to off screen, but then a few days before that video released, the idea for how that scene would play out just kind of came to me, and it was so vivid, and I could imagine it so clearly that it was just one that I really had to make. And when I was making it, I kind of realized while writing it just how personal that one was to me in a way that I didn't really expect when I started it. I don't go into a lot of detail about my personal life usually here on the channel. It's just not really what I want this space to be. But without going into too much detail, I've had my fair share of health problems and health scares, and some of those are ongoing. And it reaches a point in those situations where you just really want answers. And you keep having doctor's visits, and you keep getting sent off to specialists, and they run tests, and they can't track it down, so they tell you that it seems fine. There's nothing else they can do for you. You just need to, give it time, try to reduce stress, things like that. And then more things keep happening, and you keep going back, and you keep trying to explain the problems, and they still can't find anything. And it starts to feel like when they open the door and see that it's you, you can almost hear that, like, oh God, it's this guy again. And it reaches a point where you don't know how to express to them how off you feel without putting it in an emotional context. But you don't want to make it emotional because you don't want to be seen as some emotional mess who's, letting stress or whatever turn you into a hypochondriac. You want to be taken seriously, and you know that things are wrong. You can describe in detail what is wrong, but they don't have any answers. And they tell you that it's nothing. And you know that it is something. And you're fucking scared. And you just want to help. Oh. A lot of people in the comments of that video pointed out the line that Milo says when he says, I'm not crazy, I just want help. That line was one of the things that the whole video is kind of framed around, ultimately. It's something I've said in my real life. It's something that I've felt. I know that some people thought it all got resolved a little too cleanly. That, through the strength of his bond to his sweetheart, that Milo got to have his magic back, and that it was all just encapsulated in this one video. And that's fair. But as a writer, I had the chance to give Milo that that relief that a lot of us don't get to have in real life in a situation like this. So I gave it to him. And that And that definitely got a lot more emotional than I thought it would. Yeah. That video was hard to make, but I'm really proud of it. Okay. Project Meridian. Yeah, we'll skip to that one. We finally got a confrontation on that one. It's a verily that's not what I was trying to say. It is a very morally gray series, by design. I think the fact that the viewers are so divided on it speaks to just how morally gray it gets. And I think it's really cool that it can foster those kinds of discussions. No one's hands are clean in that series. And for a viewer, I know that can go both ways. It can be really interesting, but it can also be really frustrating to not kind of have a clear idea of who to root for, who to believe in, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's one of the tougher series to write, but it's an interesting one, and I like how that video turned out a lot. Let's see, we already touched on Gavin's, and I'll let the Hot Boy Summer intro video be part of next month's wrap up. So that just leaves Avier. Avier's plotline is another one that's divisive, or at least it's become that lately. Which I get, and I understand. I don't think anyone would try to earnestly say that Avier hasn't done anything wrong, because he absolutely has. I will say, I think the direct comparisons between him and Marcus are oversimplified and unfair. There are definitely intentional parallels there, but at the most basic level, I think there's a really big fundamental difference between emotionally and physically subjugating and controlling someone at every level because you don't want to be without a relationship, versus misleading someone out of an admittedly very misguided effort to keep them safe, which also, keep in mind, was done in the face of an inescapable, eternal future of torment that, without help, will literally never end, not even through death. Avier is not a saint, and he has a lot to make amends for, and he'd be the first to admit that he probably won't say and do everything perfectly right along that journey of forgiveness, because real people wouldn't. But at risk of killing some of the suspense of that storyline, I think it's worth clarifying here and now that no, Avier is not going to end up betraying the listener. He's not the intended villain of the story. He's in no way perfect, but he's not gonna, turn out to be the bad guy. So if you were worried about that, don't be. And if you wanted it to go in that direction, you'll have to look somewhere else, unfortunately. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. We can skip over the the Patreon preview, and like I said, we'll let the Hot Boy Summer intro be part of next month's. But that was May, and a very long-winded and surprisingly emotional explanation. Yeah, you guys asked for more background info, so there you have it. Hopefully it was what you guys were looking for, and not just me ranting for way too long over nothing. But that was May, and now it's June. June here on the channel is going to be Hot Boy Summer Month. It's been upgraded from a week to a month. Not because there's more videos, but because I don't really want to do back-to-back week-long releases anymore. So instead, Hot Boy Summer is now going to be a month rather than one of those marathon release sessions. Yeah. It's going to be a series of spicy audios with some of the favorite boys. It should be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are excited for that, because I am. And June is also Pride Month. So to everyone who celebrates, I wish you a very happy Pride. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, do not forget your sunscreen. Every skin tone, every age, every walk of life, I don't care. You need sunscreen. Skin cancer is nothing to fuck with. Fun in the sun is great, but not for your cells. So give them a break. Put on the sunscreen. Anyway, mini rant aside, happy Hot Boy Summer. Happy Pride Month, and a big thank you to my devoted and obsessed tier patrons. People at those 2 tiers get their names shouted out. Get their names shouted out in these monthly shout out videos, and God knows this video is already long enough. So let's get into it. Starting with the devoted tier. Kai's Phobia, Ketzel, Drew Chu, Mitzi, ARR, Arzu Angeles, Abigail, Ace of Clowns, Adrian Peebles, Adventurous Winter, Aiden, Alex, Alexandra, Alexis B, Alexis Baxter, Allie Knight, Alicia Hatter, Allie Weevil, Allie Cat, Alui, Amada, Amanda, Amaris Ortiz Muniz, Amaya, Amanette the Fox, Amy B, Amy Lizzie, Angela Martinelli, Angelixia, Anna RKB, sorry, Anush, Anya Moody, AQ Fox, Arctic Kate Kit, Ashley Lee, Asia Owens, what was my blaze? Athena Kihi, Atomic Teacup, Authentic Hot Mess, Ayana, Azazel, B43T, Bailey Riley, Bapiri, Baz Ousts, Beck, B, Belle Arachne, Bernie White, Beza McCall, Billy, Blue OG, or Blue Og, Blue Jaga, Bobik, Bonjour Cégine, Bouge, Brenna, Bree, Brianna, Breezy, Brittany Ibanez, Brooks, Bubbles and Acid, Bunny Baby, Butterfly Towers, Cactus Wolf, Kate Francis, Cal, Cami Antes, Carla Dillon, Cass Ross, Casper Lee, Cassandra Dewin, Cassandra Hyatt, Catella Ars, Catherine Greer, Cerberus, Chaos Chan, Chapeau, yeah, Charlie, Chelsea, Chloe, Chris, Christina K, Chris Zilla Rar, Chrysanthemum, Shuff, CC Saurus, Circuit Scars, Closeted Corvid, Classically Incorrect, Claude, Clover88, Codename Cynic, Corey, Corpse Senpai, Corey Frazier, Crude Scribbler, Crystal Power, Crystal Lash 57, Daddy Jax, Dana Clausen, Danny Burb, Danny, Darcy, Darlin B, Deanna, Deborah Kerner, Deaf Defying, Danu, Desiree, Devin Franklin, Devila May Care, Dia Nurhusna, Di Reese, Diana, Di I Was Here, Dimini Bentan, Dinanina, Y, DJ Freelove, Dr. Bitchcraft, Dominique Evans, Dominique Halbert, Dream Mixie, Drowsy Newt, Dual Portal Destinies, Dusk B, Dylan, E. Junkiet, Elaine, Elena, Elizabeth Himes, Elizabeth Reese, Ellie, Emiko, Emily, Emma Casalio, Emma Walker, Emma Lee, Emmy Mar 93, Enzo, Ipur Charlene, Humorously, Evelyn Henriquez, Evie, IC, Ezki, F, Ferris, Fatima Shock, Fawn and Sparrow, Fern, Flying Icarus, Frankie Pani, Friendly Faded, G, Gamer 101, Gareth Phillip, Gemini, Jean Jess 2702, George Young, Ginger, Glitch Ghost, Grace Riley, Gretchen, Gucci Flip Flops, Hades' Wife, Haley, Halligan Wickiser, Hannah Silver, Hatter Ripper, Heather Beery, Highs, okay, Helipe, Hester, Hexwood, Heyho Gago, Holly Ann Bearden, Hunter Angelus, Hunipie, Ikram Sabriye, Inez, Irene, Isabel Moya, Jackson Lennox, Jada Monia, Jax's Couch, Jay, oh wait, no, I missed a line, sorry, Jade 909, Jalen Sami, Jake Burton, James, Jameson, Jana, Jane Doe, Jane Marshmallow, Javialis, Jax's Couch, Jay, Jalen Parfit, Jean Harlow, Janine, Jen Lippincott, Jerica McGuire, Jessica Jonah, nope, Jessica Cruz, sorry, Jessica Wood, Jigs a Woogie, Jillian Santoro, JJ Edits, Jody Marie, Joanna, Joker's Penguin, Jonah, Juice444, Jules, Julie, Juno Calla, Just a Bean, Just Some Pancakes, Kabuki, Cal, Carla A, Cat Babbles, Caitlin, Catherine Riley, Catherine Pack, Katie Bellamy, Katrina, Kay, Kay, Kay Lofton, Kayla, Kiara Louise, Keller Wells, Kelly Jones, Kelly G, Kenzie, Ket131, Kexgo L, Kaya168, King Malem 6536, Kin Yubi, Kiwi, Kizzy Coco, Cody Codno, Cola G, Chris, Christina Scott, Krista Halligan, Kumiko Saruwatari, Kylie, LL Lovely, Lady Monotone, Lane, La Luna, Laura, Lauren, Lazzy, Leaf, Leda Hovhanessian, Lee Michelle Robbins, Levi, Liana, Lightning Hikaru, Lil Bun, Lily, Lily Dean, Lindsay Paquette, Lindsay Turner, Little Wren, Lock Hunter, Lori Diaz, Lori Janice, Loser Cat, Lottie, Lulu, Louis, Love Thy Myth, Lou Vandenhoof, Lucius021, Lucy, Luca Collins, Luvine, Lynn Alexandria McKendrick, Lightiet, Mac, Mackenzie Spire, Madam Butterfly, Madison Doll, Madness in a Box, Malachite, Mandy Lynn Reiner, Mania, Mari T, Maria DeLima Wetland, Marissa Rodriguez, Mars Bars, Mary Harney, Megan Ashley, Many, Murmur, Mia, Mika, Midnight Lynx, Midnight, Mia Bernwald, Mist XOXO, Milk Tea, Millie Hastings, Mimi 2657, Min No Longer, Minnie Bash, Miss Anthropy, Ms. McCormick, Mochi, Molly Deppin, Momo, Moo.net, Moonfox, Moosey Girl, Mouse, Mrs. Nobody, Musical Midnight, Mutant Glue, Maple Kazoo, Mythic Mint, Napmaster, Naru, Natalia Amos, Natalie Baker, Nini, Netta, Nyam, Nick at Night, Nicole, Night Nurse, Nikki Quinonez, Neri, Nix, Noel Robertson, Gnomes, Nonal, or Nona L, North Star, Nutella64, Nyx Nightshade, Oliver Twisted, Olivia, Olzy02, Unag Little, Oracle, Origin, Otaku Days, Automessicommon, it's probably wrong, Page Enders, Pandicium, Peach Goblin, Pebin, Percival Gunn, Perseus, Phenom Jack, Pickle Popcorn, Pinup Dolly, Pogo, Quest Ace, Quinn J, R, Rachel Raffenson, Reagan, Raphael E. Solorio, Rain Mitchell, Rain R, Ramon Garcia, Random Dawning, Rat Jams, Reaps, Rebecca, Rebecca A.H., Rebel, Red Vernita, Red, Rathia, Riri, Release the Sirens, Rel V, Rinsler, Roman Day, ROS, Rosalie Quinn, Roz, Rubia, Sabrina Harris, Saffron Ferlin, Salderin Thrain, Sam, Sammy Thurston, Sarah Diehouse, Sarah Mengers, Sarah Rosine, Sereth, Savannah Folkingham, Schmerbs, Seb Castellan Yes, Serotonin, Several Cats in a Trench Coat, Shadow Cat, Shanna, Shanice Bear, Shannon Bining, Shell, Shira, Shilwern, Showren? Sorry. Sidal, Sienna, Sierra, Silver Jasmine, Sim, Simp My Life, Situp, Sky, Skylar, Sleepy Royalty, Snow, Soap is Sophie, Someone 1234, Sophia, Sora, Spectre, Spencer, ST, Saint maybe, Stacy, Starina Abramson, Starlina Scarlet, Starlit Snowfall, Staz L, Stheno, Styx, Suppresso Depresso, Swan North, Swee, Sydney Waddy, Taylor Fowler, Tal as in pedal, Tatum Connor, Tay, Taylor, Tazwell, Telsia Gaucher, The Pixie, The Odyssey, The Wandering Witch, Thomas Wilson, Thug AZNX, Tiffany Lawrence, Timoth Tominth, TJ, TJK 1998, Tracy Turner, Trash King, Vanessa Morgenthaler, Vantastic, Varen, Vicky, Victoria, Vivi, VJ24, Void, Wallflower Loud, Wannabe Bunny Girl, Wahida Shuhuri, Hoovian Rainbow Girl, Ren, Willabean, William Burgess, Witchy Wonders, Wonka79, Ren, Win Mortal, Zale S, Xander Niquio, Yuritsa Garcia, Yashira Gibio, and I Google translated this one. I'm almost certainly going to say this completely wrong, but I think it's Tanukishi. Probably not, but there you go. If I'm wrong on any of those, and I'm sure I was wrong many places along the way, feel free to tell me and I will try to correct it for next time. That was the devoted tier. And for the obsessed tier, we have a little smiley face, Audrey Chavez, Mac, Aaron Olmos, Ace Stuck in Space, Adriana, Aiden Faye Justice, I Love It 95, Asian, Alex Style, Alice, Allison Posey, Ambery Artsy, Angel, Angel of Mine, Angel Rose, Anger Spud, Anna McBurney Grosh, Annalise, Anxiety Gremlin, Anyak, Ariel, Arizona, A Rosy Complexion, Astrid, Athena Belladonna, Atlas Aries, Audrey Sibthorpe, Autumn Slater, Autumn Whale, Baby Miracle, Bambi, Barbie, Bat Queen, Bex, Belle Dokeshi, Benjamin Girkman, Blaine in a Bow Tie, Blue Sky, Black Magic 13, Bonnie Callahan, Bookworm, Brandon D, Brianna Bubbles, Calico, Callie Rogers, Carolus, Carolyn, Cass Grindstaff, Castle Audios, Cecilia Herda, Cereza, Chaotic Pain, Chelsea Williams, Cherie, Cherry Red Bunny, Christian Moon, Chris, Cinnamon, Clarice Smith, Cloud Strife, Cloudy, Cove, Croaky, Crow, Crywolf883, Cryptid Alex, Cubes, Cupid Rhea Valentine, Cute Trash Crow, Dagger, Danny California, Danny Ella 7, Darby of Shire, Destiny Jolly, Desi, DJ Wood, EH, Earl Grey Audios, Aiku, Eleanor Curtis, Electric Sin, Elinary, Elliot Eilif, Emma Clark, Ender, Ava, Faith McLean, Foxtrot, Froze, Furious Hobbit 13, Gabriella King, Gally Winter, Garrett, Jemmy Rose, Georgia Morgan, Gideon, Good Girl Duke, Gravity Rose, Haley, Heidi, Hermione but nicer, Hermster, Hester Van Sluten, Holly, Holly Lynn, Hunter Tucker, I Am Arkid, Idakin 27, Ion Shark, Iris Thorn, It's 12:15, Jade Uzumaki, Jaden Bynum 13, Jasmine Forrester, Jennifer Luxniski, Jessica, Joe G, Joey Angel, John McCluskey, Jones Calypso, Jordan, Julie, Jula 308, Justin Trovanovich, Kai, Kaida the Drag, Kale, Kari, Karen Fernandez, Kat Corsino, Kathy Jones, Katie, Katie Bliss, Katie B, K Fam, Kaylin, KD Eller, Kelly, Kelsey Crandall, Curious, Karari M, Komatsu, Christy Hall, Kyle Delgado, Kylie Trainer, Caranosaurus 22, Lee Suyun, Leilendine, Lemonade Brain, Lex and Kari, Les Castillo, Leah, Lily, Lila Valentine, Lil Miss Simp, Listening Phoenix, Lil Kim, Locke, Lore, Lorna Wilson, Lostopus, Lotus, Louise Trejo, Louise Wesseman, Lovely Deviant Alyssa, Lucas M, Luna, Lunaless Nacht, Lupita Sloan, Lurknix, Lycus, Ma, Maddie, Madison Hartzog, Malibu, Mallory, Mary K. Hennig, Maximilian F., McKenna Miller, Megan McIntyre, Megan, Mina, Megan Langford, Mai, Melano, Melissa Immerman, Michelle Peterson, Miel, Mikto, Mika Panda, Mimble, Mint, Mira Luca 3, Maria Cervantes, Mischief Mika, MK, Mojo, Morgan Hutchinson, Mowgli Bear 09, Multi-Duel, Napping Zip, Necrobotanical, Nemesis L, Neon Witcher, Nexus, Nightingale 9803, Nightshade 1217, Nikki 5 cents, Nocturne, Not Undead Please, Officer Salty, Oliver, Oregano, Othello, Pablo Huerta, Peachy Bun, Persephone Nightmare, Personal Reality, Pink Boss Music, Pip, Pirate Cake, Pumpkin Queen, Rachel Linville, Rachel Woodward, Rage, Rhea the Law, Red Language, Reese, Raya, Rhonda Parker, Ryan Walters, Robbie Marie, Robin, Rose Lacey, Rowan Lee, Ryan, Ryan Ellison, Ryan Gould, S, Saku AI, Salem, Sammy Sammer, Sani, Sarvru, Sav, Savannah, Savvy Lee, Scarlet Snowfox, Seventh Color, Sexy Toothpaste, Shane, Shelby W, Shezu Rivera, Shy Eli, Soft Redrin, Soupy Twist, Spring, Spunky Taylor, Saint Jimmy, Starlight and Fox, Stella St. James, Stephanie, Stray Dryad, Sugar Crash, Sunshine 515, Sweetheart Vibes, Taco Nugget, Talon, Tarko, Temp 85, Taryn Flores, The Cray, The Snake That Tempted Eve, Tiffany Theriot, Tinny, Tom Banter, Tori Bell 27, Toshi, Tritoning? Sorry, I'm sure that's wrong. Sumi, Twinkie, Uncharted Freaks 53, Undeniably Emily, Vampire Girl 149, Vex Sunshine, Vic, Violet Sweet, Whistler, Winter Prowler, Winter Sweetser, Wolfie, Ren, Yennefer Tiefling, Zoe, and Zuko. Ooh. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to those of you who are patrons. I appreciate that very much. Thank you to everyone else as well. Thank you for 100K. I appreciate it and you all very, very much. And this has been very long. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. Get excited for Hot Boy Summer. I think it'll be a lot of fun. See you guys then. Goodbye.